Hello, I'm here. You should be able to see and hear me for the first time in several weeks. Hello, hello, my friends. Let me get the ducks on parade. Hello, everybody. Hello, Pi. We've got two hydrates already from Pi. We'll do those in a second. Mad Lad, hello. Peter, hello. This is Peter standing by, well, laying by because I'm sleepy and I need a snooze. More like hiding by because I've done a lot of things and the world is big, so I'm in a small bit under my blankets. Hey, I am a huge proponent of curling up under a fuzzy blanket, taking a rest and a break from the rest of the world, so I hope you're comfy, cozy, Peter. It's been officially 1 year, which I can't believe. Oh my goodness, the Mad Lad, has it really? Have I been streaming that long? Ghost Pepper, hello, hello. How's it going? Please let me know if the sound balance is off, if you need more music and less of me, or vice versa. 1st of August, 2023. Dang, I can't believe... I think I've been streaming for 3 years now. I can't believe. But here we are. Here we are with all of our ducks. Not in a row, because it's impossible to get them in a row. Look at this. Look at this sneaky sneak boy. Look at this sinisterman hanging out here in the pool with all these lovely ducks. I don't even remember the 1st of August, 2024. Peter, mood, I feel you. Let's do 2 hydrates for Pi. Hydrates, if you will. Exiled Fae, hello! A 1. And a 2. 2 hydrates. Hello, Exiled Fae. How's it going? I put my hand socks on and then instantly didn't want them anymore because my hands became toasty. Ghost followed 10th of November 2021, so I'll assume that's when you started. Yeah, that sounds about right. It was November, it was NaNoWriMo. My first stream, they did their job ultra fast. My first stream was basically just a test stream. There was no frame, this beautiful purple frame that you see that was made by the lovely Victoria, I did not have at the time. It was a screen capture of Word with my document in the background, a big long digital post-it note on my desktop that was basically like, hey, I won't talk while I'm typing because I didn't know how to make the bot do that. And down in the corner, a small camera of my face with no frame. And that was it. That was my first stream. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna turn on, because everyone had been like, oh, when are you gonna stream? And I was like, I don't think people will find it interesting to watch me just type. But then I met a bunch of other writers online who did the same thing. And I was like, all right, you know what? We'll do a test stream. We'll see if people are interested at all. And I did it. I did a test stream. We were doing, I think, a writing prompt. I think I was doing a writing prompt that day. And a bunch of people came, and it blew my mind. And I was like, I guess I'll do this again. And then Victoria, a lovely friend of ours, gave me, she had made this frame, and she gifted it to me so that I would have something slightly more polished. And Ghost Pepper actually set up, like, my entire channel. He went in, he pulled over a bunch of things onto OBS, and he showed me how to set up my background and just get everything in place, and it took a long time before I was confident enough to touch anything without him. And yeah, and it's been a wild ride since then, I feel. And then other stuff happened that wasn't important, and then I arrived. I think you were there from pretty early on, Peter. 'Cause I know I met you through Victoria. Because I'm pretty sure we met Victoria through, was it through D&D? We met Victoria and Auntie Pants pretty early in Ghost, like, pretty soon after Ghost Pepper started streaming. And I know we met you through them. So, I think we've known you for quite a while, Peter. It's so funny because Peter always says, I feel like the new friend, but I think you've been around for, like, most of the time that we've been streaming. I mean, you have the 2.5 year badge and you've been subscribed for 30 months. So, I mean, you've been here since pretty much the beginning. 20 days after Ghost. Yeah, like, Peter, you've been around. You've been here since early. I feel like I've been here from early on. I met Victoria completely by chance through her I met you. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, because I think we hung out on Victoria. Victoria doesn't stream as much as she used to, but we used to hang out on Victoria's streams, and I think that's where we met you. And Andy Pants and you know, that whole gang. So yeah, Peter, you've been around the sun, and I think Pi too. I don't know if Pi's lurking. He dropped some hydrate, so I assume that he's lurking somewhere, but I think Pi's been around since pretty early on too. It was funny because I think was only like about 5 or 10 followers away from affiliate, like from reaching affiliate when I started streaming, because I had been hanging out on Ghost Pepper's channel for pretty much the whole time he was streaming, and I had been I'm gonna try something a little bit new. I'm gonna try to be a little bit more on timers. So I am going to start the break timer, and when the break timer runs down, so in 15 minutes, we're going to do our first sprint. But I had been hanging out on Ghost Pepper's channel for a while. And a bunch of people had already been asking me, well, like, when are you going to do your own streams, and when are you gonna do writing streams? And so I had been like, I'm not gonna start my own channel, but a bunch of people had followed me anyway. So it was like I had about 6 months of people asking me, oh, when are you gonna stream, and just following my channel despite me saying no, I'm not planning on streaming. So it all started pretty quickly. Hey, there's the sport sliding across the ice in the background there. It hasn't felt like a year to me either, Mad Lad, but time, you know what? 2020 and 2021 took like 30 years. So everything after that has just felt like the blink of an eye. In my mind, the last few years, everything has either been PC or AP, pre-COVID or after pandemic. Yeah. No, I feel you. 2019 to 2021 are a blur to me. 2022 onwards are sort of distinguished. Yeah, it just felt like everything slowed down during the pandemic, and everything felt like it kind of stood still, and then we just shot off like a rocket at some point, and we haven't ever stopped. So it's been an interesting time. And you know, hang on, let me make a document so that we can write this prompt. There are still some mornings where I'm like, you know, I don't know if people are really going to be interested in what I'm doing today, so I'll just turn on the stream, and if nobody comes, then I'll just really quickly do my work and fade into the ether. But you guys are always here. Many of you are always here, like, on the start screen, and it blows my mind every time. that you guys come and hang out with me and that you value having conversations with me and chilling with me. It blew my mind that you guys all came and hung out with me when we were just doing productivity lobbies and it was literally just a screen, music, and ducks and nothing else. So I want you guys to know that I appreciate that and I appreciate you guys. I met someone who I hadn't seen since before the pandemic yesterday in Edinburgh, and I was like, holy shit, it's you. I remember you. I know, it's so weird. There's definitely, it's like a yawning chasm in our lives, I think. It'll always be like this little blip, not a little blip, but it'll always be a blip, right? It'll always be a thing where you're like, that was a time, and it affected my life in various different ways. I will say, I definitely managed my life quite differently post-pandemic, because that first, 6 months of lockdown, I just didn't stop working. I just worked and I worked and I worked, because I was like, what else am I gonna do? And I think it was Ghost Pepper who finally looked at me one evening and he's like, you need to take a break. Like, you need to take a week off. You need to just stop. And so that was when I started planning vacations into my schedule. And it has made a huge difference. Taking time where my brain isn't going full tilt and I'm not trying to hit a deadline and I'm not worrying about what is the best fucking word to use in this sentence, has made a huge difference. So, yeah, it was a big one. Our generation have been through way too many once in a generation things. I definitely feel that, Peter. I've been trying to read more this summer, and so I've started with The Handmaid's Tale, thinking it would be a quick, enjoyable read. Oh gosh, Ghost Pepper has thoughts on that book, as I've heard so many good things. No hate to Atwood, but the book's premise is brilliant, and I'm enjoying it, but the grammar is appalling. It's to the point where I can't go one page without spotting a comma that shouldn't be there, or missing quotation marks. She doesn't use quotation marks. Interesting. I mean, that feels like the fault of her publisher, because that was a traditionally published book, so that should have been edited by somebody at some point. I reached the word limit. Listen, Ghost Pepper has feelings about that particular book. Oh, the Twin Moons escaped! Look at this little duck captain living his best life. He's free. Honestly, The Handmaid's Tale, not for me. Not my type of thing. There's too much talking in this song, so we're skipping to the next one. I watched the first 2.5 seasons of the show, and it just never went. It was one of those shows where it never went anywhere. The whole point of the show was we treat women horribly, and that was it. They just had to every new season they had to come up with a horrible way to treat women, and there was never any the plot never went anywhere. The Book of Angela's Ashes is unreadable. He doesn't use quotation marks or any punctuation. How can you not use quotation marks? There's barely any full stops. It just starts and goes. It's sort of like a journal. I've not read it, so I can forgive the journal, and I get that it's a dystopia, but Offred in particular had an education. She knows the grammar rules. That's true. That is true. The original Train Spotting novel is written in Scots dialect, and that's unreadable as well. Interesting. There seems to be no comeuppance or anything to it, like there's no payoff in A Handmaid's Tale. Okay, so I'm about to spoil a show, the first season of The Handmaid's Tale. If you care, maybe not the first season, the second season. If you care about knowing what happens in that show, mute me for a second, and I'll say when it's safe in the chat. But the whole idea behind A Handmaid's Tale is that this woman, Offred, is trying to escape Gilead. She's trying to get her daughter and get back to her husband. That's like the premise. And there are several times throughout the show where a great many people take a great many risks to help this woman succeed at getting free of Gilead. And she just doesn't go. And I just remember being furious because it's like a dozen people just risked their lives and you just flushed it down the toilet and just went back. But do you have any concept of how many risks those people took to get her out of there? And she just turned around and went back? I, frankly, would not help her anymore at that point. I guess we're talking... No! They took Tyranno! Sir, bring my cow back. Sir! We're talking about it because Mad Lad's reading the book. I mean, there were times when I agreed with her self-centeredness, but at that point, I was just like, no, this bitch is just throwing away everything that people have given, like, have risked for her. And I think, again, spoilers, I think that because there's a sequel now to A Handmaid's Tale. I don't remember what it's called, but there's a sequel now. And I think it's very strongly indicated that her daughter grew up in Gilead. Like, completely. So, like, she never, like, the implication is she never succeeds. I don't want to hate on the book because I'll stop spoilering now. For anyone who is muted. I stopped watching the show. You guys can spoil me on the show because I stopped watching because I didn't care. I stopped caring when it was clear nothing was going to happen. There have been several, like, we were heavily recommended a show called The Umbrella Academy. And we watched the first season, and it very quickly became clear that that show was never going to go anywhere either. So we watched, like, 2 episodes of the second season, and we were like, okay, we're done. I don't want to hate on the book because it's a literary classic, but I do have a similar feeling with the book where I can't figure out a plot. It's just a bunch of moments where women are treated poorly due to men hammering down on their views on what they think the Bible meant, but like half of the time she's enjoying herself. Interesting. She has multiple moments where she's flirting with the men instead of trying to escape. I mean... I'll be honest, Atwood isn't my jam. I've actually seen her speak in person. My brother-in-law graduated from an arts college in Toronto, and she was the guest speaker at his graduation. She's an extremely intelligent woman, and I do think it would be interesting to converse with her, but I find her writing to be very dry, and she writes the kind of dystopic sci-fi that I don't enjoy, because it's not hopeful. It's very bleak, and it's not 100% not my jam. So I think Margaret Atwood is a very interesting woman. Not really into her work, unfortunately. I would fight Margaret Atwood. Sometimes you need to do some foxy old-timey boxing. You know what, Peter? She's a sassy lady. Don't let her age fool you. She'd give you a challenge. Hey, Janine. We've got another hydrate from Pi. We'll do the stretch right before we start the sprint. Um, yeah, I'm the kind of person where if a story gets stuck in an endless loop where there's no character development and no one ever moves forward and nothing ever gets resolved, I can't be part of that. I need people to learn from their mistakes. That was the main issue that I had with the new Star Wars movies too. Like my main issue with The Last Jedi, I'm gonna fight a young lady. I'm afraid I don't qualify in that category, Pie. If you would like to fight an old lady, I will take your challenge. But that was my big issue with The Last Jedi too, was it was like they had gone through this whole plot in spoilers for a however many year old movie, but they had gone through this whole plot in Return of the Jedi where, you know, Luke had gone against the grain and he had fought back against the original ideals of the Jedi, and then he had fallen right down the same hole as his father, and I was like, this is garbage. Character development, please. Been watching the Olympics, and I really enjoyed the coverage on one of the streaming channels here in the States. That's awesome. We've watched zero of the Olympics. I think we're Winter Olympics people. It makes me feel bad. But I think we're mostly Winter Olympics people, because I have no idea what's happening with the Olympics. I think The Handmaid's Tale is overhyped. If anyone has a book where the plot is similar but actually written well, it'll go on my TBR. I think it's fairly unique. Pi followed 5th of November 2021. See, I said Pi was here for pretty early on. Yeah, Pi was one of the people who I think followed me before I even said I was streaming. Just because you're older than me doesn't make me young. If that was how it worked. Pi, how many streams in your streak now? Tell me. Canada is really good in the Winter Games. I think we're just more interested in... We usually watch a lot of the skiing, and I like the figure skating. I do like the gymnastics, which I think is Summer Olympics. My timer is up, so I'm going to try to be a little bit more on top of this. So I'm going to stop yammering, and I'm going to start a sprint. Today we are doing chapter 12 of the Prompts novel. For anyone who isn't up to speed on that, I basically rolled a bunch of writing prompts earlier in the year, and each time I work on this novel, I pick one of them and I use it to advance the plot. And the prompt that I have chosen for today is tell a story through text messages. And I think the way that they want you... Excuse me, 42 stream streak, almost no streak. Pi, I think yours is the biggest streak. I'll be reading more of The Handmaid's Tale. I won't quit. I'm gonna finish it. I mean, good on you, the mad lad. I have learned to DNF books, and it has been very liberating to me for my life. Close on my 33-day streak, but I know Pi is and will always be ahead of me. Pi is, like, always here. But I think what they want, I think what the person who wrote this prompt wanted was for all of the parts of the prompt to be text messages. I'm not going to do that because we already did a do this only with dialogue prompt. And also, I think for formatting, just having text messages would be really difficult to format for the web. But my interpretation of tell a story through text messages is essentially going to be that there will be things revealed through the text messages in the chapter. And my thought is that there's going to be multiple text chains happening, so that the chapter centers around the text messages. So instead of being just text messages, the plot will center around the text messages, which to me feels like it fulfills the spirit of the prompt. I love that this slime looks like Slimer right now, or this duck looks like Slimer right now. Big Slimer vibes. I've only DNF'd one book and I'm still mad at myself. What was the book that you DNF'd? Megan, usually students, I'm already back from work before I go to sleep. Heck yeah! I can be your wind down for the day. Radioactive slime. I mean, that's what Slimer looks like. We Were Liars. I've never even heard of that. I'm gonna get quiet and give you some lovely clicky clacks from my mechanical keyboard, which I know you all have not heard in a while because I have been muted for the last several streams. You were liars. We got a stretch to do before we get these clicky clacks in. Gonna stretch the arms and fingies as was requested by Pi. Carly, welcome in. How are you? I hope you are fabulous. When does band camp start, by the way? In pain? No, that's not what I want for you. I hope you are resting. Sunday? That's so soon! This Sunday? I thought it was gonna be, like, in a week or something. Just did a lot of moving. Well, Carly, I hope that you take care of yourself. I'm gonna do a cheeky little pop AFK to reheat my coffee, and as soon as I get back, we're gonna start the timer. Carly, I hope you're putting your foot up. I hope you're relaxing. To open up a document quickly and grab the names of these characters because I haven't written them in a while. I should actually just get them from here. Got the names. We've got freshly hot coffee. I did the stretch. I did it right before I ran to reheat my coffee. I promise I did, Pi. Just got home, but need to go to Petco. Oh no. What is Sunday? It's 4 days after Prime Wednesday, which is today. I can do math. Pie, enjoy your lurk. We're gonna have some good clicky clackies for you here in a moment. Sometimes the good times roll, sometimes they bounce. Yeah, definitely, if you just moved a bunch of stuff, give yourself a hot minute to sit down. You and Ghost are actually the first people I've heard express disappointment with the book, other than the 1-star reviews. I mean, I know a lot of people who don't like that book. Ghost Pepper could tell you many feelings. The Handmaid's Tale. I'm gonna start 30 minutes on the clock here. Ghost Pepper read it in high school. I don't know if that was what colored his enjoyment of it, but he was like forced to read it in high school and he really didn't enjoy it. Not to put him on the spot or anything, but we've had that conversation many times. Lori, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in. How's it going? How was your stream? The words are flowing. We're on our first sprint of the day, and I am up to 502 words so far. Halo Banshee, hello, hello, how's it going? We'll hydrate now and stretch at the end of the sprint, because we will need it. I had to look over the project. Granted, I started this weekend, but I was in a word fog, so I needed to make sure the sentences made sense. I know that feeling. I hope the project is going well if you just started a new project. And I'm glad your stream was productive today. Thank you, Halo Banshee. We appreciate you taking care of me and of anyone in chat who hopefully also remembers to hydrate when it pops up. You found the elusive quotation marks. Aunt Lydia is the possessor of the elusive quotation marks. Anne, how's it going? Nice to see you. It keeps playing songs with lyrics, which I don't want it to do right now. Welcome back, Carly. How was Petco? I hope it was quick and easy. No! Pain, leave Carly alone. Carried a 50-pound bag of dog food and a 15-pound container of litter. Carly! Oh my goodness, that's a lot. I hope you carried them separately and not at the same time. Carly, please, please don't hurt yourself. But do take a nap. Naps are good. You sound like Ghost Pepper. Ghost Pepper will, like, bend in all kinds of weird ways and just pile stuff up so that he only has to make one trip from the car. But your body's not designed to carry, like, 65 pounds at one time. That is the end of the first sprint. We are going to do a stretch from Halo Banshee to get these arms and fingies taken care of. I have not drafted as much recently as I have in the last few days, so I'm definitely feeling it in my arms. I gotta get back in the right position for everything. Gotta get, make sure my chair is where it needs to be and get my arms used to typing for several hours in the day. My body is when in shape and not operating on a messed up foot, but you've got to take care of that foot, Carly. I'm known as the grunt in the School of Music because I will just carry heavy things around and get jobs done that normally require multiple people. I think that's amazing, but also please don't overburden yourself. I used to be a bit more brute forcey when it came to that kind of stuff, but as I get older, I kind of learned that I have to, obey the limitations of my body a little bit more because, if I don't, then I hurt a lot for a long time. Oh my goodness. She does use quotation marks just when she feels like it. It was whenever offered as quoting Aunt Lydia that there is none. Oh, interesting. I wonder why she doesn't use quotation marks for that particular person. I can usually carry about 80 pounds on a good day. That's probably like twice as much as what I can carry. I do not have the strength. For anyone who came over on the raid, sorry I didn't say more before. I was in the middle of a sprint, but my name is Megan Cutler, aka Starborn Striker. I am a sci-fi and fantasy writer. Today we are working on a little project. I noticed that I did not update my project list. I should do that. I am working on a little project where I am writing a novel based on writing prompts. We are not working on visions unlike they seem today, but that's okay. We'll just save that. Cool. Yeah, first sprint finished, and I am 1,534 words in. When I was drafting on Monday, I was doing quite a bit less than that in 30 minutes. So I think I'm starting to get back into practice. When you've been editing as long as I have, the speed just is not necessarily there right away. But this went really well. I'm really happy with this. I might actually be able to finish in 2 sprints, but we'll see. I have to. I'm at one of those places where it's like I've gotten into the scene. It's going the way I want it to go, but I have to decide how it ends now so that I make sure that I'm. Remember when we were talking earlier about things actually going somewhere? I need to make sure it's actually going in a direction instead of just rambling on forever. Carly, you are strong, boy. Very strong. I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to get up and move around and stretch my leggies, because we've stretched armies quite a bit today, but not leggies. So please also remember to get up, stretch, move around, grab something to drink. Carly, if you end up napping before I get back, please take care of yourself. We love you. We want the best for you. And I will pause the ducks. So we don't miss anything. Gonna take Watson out and then go to bed for a bit. Take care, Carly. I'm so glad we got to talk to you today, and I hope you rest well. And I will be right back. Welcome, Raiders! I'm so sorry that I was AFK when you came in. I must have just missed you. Let's get our ducks going. I know Nyx's duck is around here somewhere, and I assume delightfully on fire, as usual. Let's see if we can get into our upper pool. I know I saw Nyx right at the beginning of stream, so I know she's around here somewhere. But welcome, Nyx! I'm so... Wow, my brain just forgot how talking works. I'm so glad to have you. It's so good to see you. I tried to say that at the same time. It didn't work out well. I hope your stream went well. The Terrible Novelist, welcome in. How's it going? So your AFK has become a bit of a tradition to raid while you're on the BRB screen. Hey, I appreciate it. I hope that you were very productive today. By golly, I am going to find your duck, I swear. She is around here somewhere for sure. We'll ride back down here. This is actually the first time that I've done a regular stream in a while. I've been doing just like productivity lobbies, so I haven't been on camera or on microphone for a while. I was actually doing a out loud edit. So what happens is when I do, golly, your duck has just escaped me. When I do my late pass edits, I do them out loud so that I can hear how the prose is striking my ears. And I find that helps me find awkward phrasing, or sometimes like it helps me decide whether or not I should use a contraction, right? Like if it feels like something should be, oh, there's your duck right there and on fire, like I said, right in front of my face. So, yeah, I always try to do at least one in my head edit and one out loud edit because it sounds different, right? And so basically I was reading, and I found that when I read on camera, it's a little bit awkward, in terms of like people, even if I mute, people are like, oh, you're muted. Are you trying to talk to us? So we did some just plain productivity lobbies, where it was just the ducks and some music, and I was hanging out in the chat. But it's good to be back. It's good to be talking to people again, to have that interface, because it's harder to keep up with everyone when I'm reading and then chatting in between. Bruce Campbell Soup, so good to see you. How's it going? Productively procrastinating. Hey. Sometimes you gotta do that. Sometimes you gotta do a bunch of stuff that you've been putting off, so that you can get it done and out of the way. Not that I assume you were putting anything off, but sometimes the productivity that you end up doing is not the productivity you expected. I meant to show this earlier as well. I don't know if everybody who follows my crafting is still here, but look! She's almost finished. The dragon is almost finished. I don't know if you can see because it's a little bit small, but there's a part right up here where I just have to finish the final tip of the crescent moon. But the rest of it is finished. I'm going to actually pop this out of the hoop later today, hopefully, and take a big picture. I have to do... this doesn't have backstitching details yet, and there's actually beads that go on here. You can see all these little blank spots. Those are for beads. So I've never done beading on a cross stitch before. I'm really excited about it. Nervous, but excited. So I have to do the backstitching yet, but I'll be done with the base cross stitching. And this is a big one. She's a large lady. And I'll be taking a break, and I've got a group of owls. I will actually grab them. I've got a group of owls that I'm planning on doing for our friend Bard Owl. Bruce Campbell Soup, what have you been up to lately, if you'd like to share? I was totally putting my outline off. I feel you. I have a project that I'm supposed to be starting next year. And usually by the time I'm like, next year I'm going to write a thing, I have a really clear idea of at least some basic plot. And for this project, my brain is like, you'll figure that out later. And I'm like, later's running out of time, my dude. So I got this is going to be the next project, is this little pirate owl. He's super cute. And then we've got a winter owl. And we've got a spring owl. And we've got a fall owl. So those are going to be for our good friend Barred Owl. She likes owls, obviously. I think this one is her favorite one, so I'm starting with him. These are just little guys. So in comparison, here's the dragon, and here's the canvas for here's the canvas for the owl, which fits like inside. I won't even be able to use the big hoop for it. I'm gonna have to dig out a smaller hoop. So that's how big the owls are gonna be compared to the dragon. But I'm looking forward to it. So I've been getting a lot of crafting stuff done. Working on a cross-stitch project that is a fraction of the size and it's taking me forever. It's supposed to be a birthday gift. I mean, it's all about, I've been working on that dragon since, I mean, I take breaks from it, but I feel like I got it last March, so I think I started it last summer, so it's been at least a year. I just chip away at them a little bit each day. They do take a long time. They do take a long time. A lot of patience. And there's this, I don't even know if you can see it because it's so thin. There's this like silver metallic thread that I have to use on the moon, and it's such a pain in the dick. It's really finicky. It frays really easily. It's super slippery and super thin. And I hate it. It looks gorgeous once it's on the canvas, but it's so hard to wrangle. And that's the last color that I have to do today. And then it'll be done. So been working on that and been planning for some new projects. I see that Lucifer got yeeted out of the pool onto the side of the mountain somehow. I don't think that's ever happened before. I don't even know if we can see him. There he is. He got yeeted onto the side of the chalet. Maybe he fell out of the gondola. I've never seen that happen before. That's crazy. Crazy. Can't say he doesn't deserve it, but that is crazy. So today we are working on our prompt novel. I say my prompt novel. Basically, oh look, even Lilith found each other. Now that they've touched, they will never be separated. They're stuck together forever. Connected by positive and negative current. Back at the beginning of this year, I started a crazy project where I said, hey, I want to do some writing prompts for my blog. I'd like a new way to challenge myself. What if I just roll a bunch of random writing prompts and then try to turn them into a plot of a novel? So I did that. And basically I'd like to say every week, but I don't actually work on it every week. So whenever I work on this project, I go into my list, I check out how many writing prompts I've got left, I scroll through them, I pick one to try to use to advance the plot. I don't really have a plan for the plot of this. My plan is just to try and fit all of the writing prompts in somehow. So I regularly skim the list. I try to keep in mind what prompts I have coming up and what I can possibly do to fit them into the plot. And I pick one and I do the next scene based on it. And today's is a story told through text messages. So our main character, Awhile, is frantically texting many people, trying to piece together bits and pieces of information that he's missing. It's going pretty well. We've got 1,534 words so far. And I basically just have to decide basically what story I want to be formed by these text messages, and where I want the scene to end. I have a pretty good idea of what I want the last line to be, but I don't just want the messages to be, like, I don't just want him to have a conversation, since the prompt is a story told through text messages. I want him to actually piece together something akin to a story. Like, I want him to have, like, a beginning, middle, and ending that he didn't necessarily have before. So I'm gonna start the timer again, and we will see what that story ends up being. And our main character has just missed a bunch of things that have happened because he was kind of stuck in a computer simulation. So I feel like he's sort of gathering the information about what is happening, or what has happened that he's missed. So he's basically got like 3 different text chains going on right now that we're gonna try to resolve. All right, 30 minutes on the clock. And let's see if I can finish up in this 30 minutes. I'm doubtful, but we'll see. XFirefly9X, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in. Okay, no worries, hon. No worries. Oops. The word for moving your fourth floor apartment when the elevator is broken while summer is simmering? Awful? That sounds awful. Is that what you're doing right now? Oramui? Is that how I say your name? Oh my god, if I'm saying it wrong, please let me know. Oh. Capitalized for your convenience. So you want to be just called Ram. I got ya. That's much easier. I can say that. Are you moving your fourth floor apartment while the elevator is broken in the simmering summer heat? Because that does sound terrible. No, Ram! I hope that you're almost finished. The timer's about to be up, so I will, and I'm just about finished actually with this scene. I don't think I need another sprint, so I will tell you that one time Ghost Pepper and I moved across town. It was just a couple, I think it was like 5 or 6 blocks. So we were moving out of a basement apartment into an apartment building into the 5th floor. And the elevator was working in order to get us up to the floor, but it was stinking hot. We only had a certain amount of time to use the elevator, so we had to get everything like up to the floor. And we basically, because we had a limited time, we were basically just bringing everything upstairs and shunting it into the living room so that, like, we were like, we'll put things where they go later. And that was the day that a pigeon pooped on my head. And I hated it. Gonna need 30 sprints to get all your stuff up. I hope you have help, Ram. I hope someone is helping you. I hope this isn't a solo thing. No! I'm so sorry. Are you moving elsewhere in the same building, or are you just moving out of the building? Moving out. Well, at least you're moving out. At least you're not moving into a building where the elevator is broken. I hope you're moving into a nicer place. Cheaper and bigger, but still the elevator is killing me. Yes, that is terrible. Resting for 3 times longer than it takes to get down. I mean, if it's hot, you gotta rest. Make sure you're hydrating. I'm sure you don't need to be told, but make sure you're hydrating. Make sure you're pacing yourself. Heat is not a small deal, especially if you are running up and down stairs. So, golly, I hope that they're able to get the elevator working for you at some point, but do make sure that you are taking care of yourself. I fully understand. Like I said, when we did that awful move and when the pigeon pooped on me, that was like the end of it. Then I was just like, I can't. And it was only midway through the day, so we weren't done. I was done, but we weren't done. Buy a watermelon just so I can butcher it. That sounds like a good plan. And then you get to drink all the water from the watermelon. Perfect plan. I'm actually, I think, pretty much done with this scene. I think I only have a few paragraphs left to write. We are at 3,072 words. Insert original headline for stream from Y. Why? How's it going? I feel like I haven't talked to you in forever. Are you work lurking today? We're at 3,072 words. 2 sprints in. I killed it today. Where did I stop? Stopped there. So second sprint, we did 1,538 words. Almost exactly the same number of words as we did in the first sprint. Heck yeah, consistency. Is this book fantasy? It's kind of. This particular book that I'm working on today is all based on writing prompts. I would consider it a light fantasy or a magical realism. So it takes place in our world with a tiny bit of magic sort of thrown into the mix. So it's a little touch of sci-fi, a little touch of light magic going on. And are there 2 art ducks in there? Hang on. Are we getting duplicate ducks? Suddenly got very distracted. Because if we've got duplicate ducks, we will turn off the, Oh no, those are 2 different ducks. Okay. Those are 2 different ducks. Liminal fantasy. Ooh, that's a good word. I've not heard that before, but I like that. Where magic encroaches upon the known world. Very much so. That's very much what we're working on. So it's got a light touch of fantasy, a light touch of sci-fi in it. But it's mostly taking place in the real world. Been in a lurking mood in general for most streams lately. Hey, no problem, why? I appreciate you letting me know that you're here, but I get into times like that too, where I very much just lurk and don't announce my presence or don't say much. Anybody who's lurking, you're all welcome. I appreciate you all. No obligation or pressure to talk. Doing fine, got tickets to see Alien Romulus. Let us know how it is, because Ghost Pepper was very interested. It seemed to me like they were kind of going... I know the Alien Predator franchise had kind of gone a bit action-y. It seems like they're going back to the horror roots now. It seemed like the new one is very much more like a horror movie. So I'd be interested to hear your thoughts when you see it. And let us know. But yeah, I think what I'm gonna do, because I'm actually really ahead today. I don't feel like I started all that early, but got through the drafting really well today. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a quick break. I'm just gonna pop AFK, use the restroom, get my steps in for 12 o'clock. And then I will come back and write the last few paragraphs of this scene. And we will chat a little bit and wrap up. For a while, they didn't know what to do with Alien. It looks like they know what they're doing with this film. Yeah, I would agree with that. It felt... Because I know the genre started out very much as a more horror... like, Alien, the first movie, is very much a horror movie. And it has the structure and frame of a horror movie. But a lot of the other movies in the series are a bit more action-y. And I'm not much of a horror movie person myself. I'm much more of a, like when it's an action movie, I can stomach it a lot more. But it definitely gave me horror vibes. And I noticed that Ghost was excited about it, and he's definitely a bit of a horror buff. So I'm very curious if that's the case, if they're sort of going back to the roots. Oh, hey, Dad Stuck is here. Um, so I would love to hear, because I think the last one I saw that wasn't Alien versus Predator was the one, um, was it Prometheus, I think? And that one started out looking like it was going to be, again, like really horror-y and kind of intellectual, but it just ended up being action-y for the most part. Um, so I'm kind of interested in the new one. Just glad they're doing a lot of practical effects for this. It looked pretty good. It looked pretty good in the theater. Granted, I'm sure they take all the best shots for the trailer, but we saw a trailer for it when we went to see Deadpool and Wolverine, and it looked pretty good on the big screen. So we'll see. Anyway, I will pause the ducks so we don't miss any antics. I will be right back, and we will wrap up this here writing prompt and see if we can go do a raid. Alright, we are back. Let's save the ducks. We probably are about to start getting duplicates soon. This will probably be our last day on this map, and then we'll move back to space. Oh my goodness. Okay. Alright, I'm not going to do a full sprint because I don't think we need it. Although actually I do have some other stuff to do, although I don't know if it will take a full 30 minutes. Sisyphean, that's the word, or Promethean. Sisyphus is, I believe, the one who pushes the rock up the hill and then it rolls down the other side. Oh, Promethean is when the buzzard pecks at your liver. That's true. Prometheus was the one whose liver was eaten. Sisyphus was the one who pushes the rock, and Tantalus is the one who is in the wine, but every time he dips to drink, the water would recede. Prometheus, yes, is the one who stole fire for mankind. And he was punished by the gods. He was tied to a rock. And each day, Zeus's ravens would peck out his liver. And I think it was the ravens, anyway. Birds would peck out his liver and it would regrow overnight. Because the gods are kind souls. I am going to turn the sprint timer on. I probably won't be as hush-hush as I usually am. Yeah, although in fairness to the gods, Sisyphus was a total dick. Really not great guy. So the fact that he was sentenced to push a rock up a hill for all eternity actually maybe kind of deserved it. We should have a new one for the god of alternative current, god of elevators. If there is a god of elevators, he's doing you dirty today. Alright, I'm gonna turn on the sprint timer. Once this timer is over, we will probably wrap up stream. We might not even need the full thing, but let's see how it goes. Hermes, god of travel, would classify as a god of elevators? Perhaps. God of doors is good too. I was gonna say, is there a god of doors? Yanis. Is it? I'm assuming Yanis. That two-faced son of a... Hermes, Yanis, get your shit together. Get that elevator working. Alright, we finished the scene at 3,287 words. I'm very happy with how this turned out. Now, I want to take the rest of the time to peek at the progress for this project. So you wrote 7 chapters before the first update. And now we are 5 deep. Okay. So how many do we have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Leave us with 9. Everyone blames Zeus for a lot of things, but he's always a safe bet. Saw this clip, made me chuckle. Of this man who said, Zeus, strike me down if I'm wrong, and lightning struck right behind him. Oh boy! He was shocked and then said he didn't strike me, so another ball came down right on him. Was that real? That sounds so crazy. That sounds insane. Man, if lightning struck right near me, I would hightail it the hell out of there. Hey, observing introvert, how's it going? Stuff like that, when I hear something like the lightning striking once, I can believe. Lightning striking twice, I'm like, was that entire thing real or was part of it faked? The internet has made me suspicious. Doing pretty good. I've actually wrapped up the task that I was originally planning to do, so I'm just doing a little bit of maintenance for this project so it will be easier in the future. I'm gonna do a little update to my table of contents here. Thank you. Yeah, I've been editing for so much of the year. I think I've been editing since March. So I'm just now starting to get back into regular drafting and trying to get back into the practice of just turning off my brain and letting the words go. And I think I did pretty good today, so I'm happy with that. So, chapter 8. Character can read the scroll. No, that was number 7. Okay. Oh, right. I think this was the mystical creature one. Yeah, it's always frustrating when you're used to a certain speed as well and you just aren't hitting that speed. I write full time, so I tend to average at least 1,000 words every 20 minutes. And I definitely wasn't hitting that on Monday. But you got to remember that if you haven't been doing it regularly, you've got to build back up your speed. So I'm glad to see today I was hitting my targets a bit more regularly. Using all my dialogue. Man, I'm so glad I installed Seribot. It's made my life so much easier. Gotta go. Glad I find my. Ooh, wow, words. Glad I finally managed to catch one of your streams live. I'm glad we got to talk as well. Observing introvert. Take care. I will be back tomorrow if you're interested in hanging out again. And I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day. I need to give today's prompt a title. so I have picked my next couple prompts. And then I will make a list of the remaining prompts. It keeps playing this song or something very similar, and I don't like it. Okay, this will make it much easier for me to see which prompts I have left to choose from. When it comes time to choosing prompts. So I have 3 more chapters to write, and then I will be 2/3 of the way done with the prompt novel. So I'm pretty happy with that. I've already picked the next 2 prompts that I want to use. Next one will be 2 characters that had a fling discover they're having a baby, and followed by a character thought dead returns home to the surprise of those that moved on. And I'm not sure where... I don't necessarily have, like, a full plan for this novel, so I don't necessarily know what will come after that. I only have sort of a vague idea where this is going based on the prompts that I have remaining, so we'll see. All right. All right. So, not only did we write, let me close this. Not only did we write 3,287 words of the new chapter, chapter 12 of the writing prompt, I also wrote an additional 721 words, updating the table of contents. So that I now have a in order list of everything that I have written up to chapter 12, plus I wrote down the 2 prompts that I'm planning to use for chapters 13 and 14. And this gives me a much smaller, truncated list of prompts to look at, so I don't have to be like, oh, I already used that one every time I'm picking a new prompt. I can just see we've got 4 prompts from the first round of selection. So from originally way back in January when I first started this project, we've got 4 prompts left from that list and 5 from the second list when we did a second round of updates to the project, because I realized I just wasn't going to have enough chapters in order to actually wrap up the story. So I feel pretty good about that. And we got a little bit of extra work slipped in there before wrapping up. So I feel pretty good about that. First stream back on camera, and we were ultra productive today. Hell yes. Let me see who is streaming so that we can do a raid. Thank you for hanging out, Mad Lad. I appreciate you. Let's see. Do we got any writers writing? We do. We've got some writers writing. Ghost Pepper is streaming. We will do a shout out for him, but we have been rating him a lot lately, so I don't want to necessarily rate him again today. For anyone who doesn't know, for anyone who's new or lurking who doesn't know, Ghost Pepper is my lovely husband. He is a variety streamer. He is streaming No Man's Sky today. We drop in on him from time to time. Even though he is not always a productivity streamer, he is sometimes a productivity streamer, and he sometimes does whiskey and world building when he works on his D&D campaign. But he is not doing that today, and I feel like we've been dropping in on him a lot, so I think we're going to drop in on Kat's Chaos Cafe. Let's see what she's up to today. Oh, she might be wrapping up. Kat might be wrapping up. Oh, maybe not, because they've got stream raiders going on, so they might be waiting for that. So let's pop over there. Let's pop over and say the last time we raided Kat's Chaos Cafe, I was not like on camera or anything, so heck yeah. Let's do the thing. I will be back tomorrow for another one of these lovely productivity sessions. I have started a new installment of the Celestial Serenade. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. It was supposed to be over. I've written 2 endings for this book series, and yet it persists in not being finished. So I am writing the final For Reals trilogy. I'm only 3 scenes deep, so we're going to be writing scene number 4. So it's only got about 10,000 words to it that I wrote on Monday, and we will be adding more to that tomorrow morning. We will be starting a new duck map in space, because we have thoroughly filled out our duck map here for skiing. And then that will be it for me for this week. I'm not sure what next week is looking at like just yet, but stay tuned. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me, and thank you for bearing with me while I was working on an out loud edit that didn't allow me to talk to you guys face to face. I'm so happy to be back. I hope that you are all well until I see you again. And until then, take care.